Well, this week, out of desperation, the Confederate government decides, hey, any trade goods leaving the Confederate ports, which is kind of hilarious because there's not much leaving the ports out of the blockade, but anything that does leave the ports, they get half. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. Johnny, a little bit more happens this week. I mean, not militarily speaking, but politically speaking, it's kind of a busier week-ish.
Okay, well, that's actually okay, because then that means perhaps things are getting sorted out.
Mm-mm.
Oh, shit.
Not that political. Okay. More like taxes.
Not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. They need more money.
Anyways, Johnny, the week's going to open up.
Wars are expensive.
Yeah, wars apparently are expensive. Who would have thought? This week's going to open up on the 29th with rebels attacking a steamship called the USS William Wallace on the Mississippi, because at this point, that's all they can do is harass.
With what? Did they throw rocks
vessels
at it?
Pretty much, yeah.
From their rowboats?
Pop shots at it, makeshift tree cannons, all kinds of goofy shit. Yeah, whatever. They're doing what they can, which is not a whole lot. And guess what, Johnny? You guessed it. Shelling at Fort Sumter is, it's still,
good.
We're still doing that.
Thank goodness. Get it back,
on the
boys.
30th, Frederick Steele is going to take full command of the Department of Arkansas with some minor skirmishing around Chickamauga Creek, Georgia, which happens on the 30th. Lincoln is going to give orders to General Banks and Nolens to adopt any rule that will admit voters of loyal U.S. citizens only to be counted. So he wants a free and fair election in Nolens to establish a new pro-U.S. government, but he wants laws to be put in place so that the only people whose votes will count are pro-U.S. citizens that preferably have taken an oath of loyalty to the United States.
Sure, valid citizens. Yeah.
Yes, citizens that are not currently in rebellion.
Yeah.
Or calling for rebellion. Which makes sense.
Or disagree with him in any way, shape, or form, or who would vote for somebody outside of his pick.
Probably the truth on that one. The month of February is going to open up with Lincoln under congressional conscription, asking for another draft of 500,000 men to take place on March 10th. These soldiers are going to be serving a 3-year term.
Get the hell out of here.
I agree. I think this is kind of a moot point.
The hell
not
out.
Really needed.
Just stop.
We already have like a 1.5 million man army. I don't think we need to add another 500,000 to it, but sure, whatever.
Well, see how this goes for him in the election year.
The terms are going to be 3 years or until the war is over, whichever happens first. So, which the way it's going.
It better not be 3 more years.
The war is going to be over before the draft takes place. But
I don't think I'm going to make it 3 more years.
I'm not going to make it 3 more years.
Whenever this ends, we got to put pictures of us up from when we started this stuff and now, and it's going to be bad.
I think yours is going to be yours is going to be very noticeable because you've not cut any hair at all, facial or otherwise. So there's definitely going to be some.
A lot of stuff's happened since the past 6 years or however long we've done this.
Some growth here. He also is going to authorize the Secretary of War to send a vessel to the Isla Ilaveche to bring any black free men of color who wishes to return. Now, you may be wondering to yourself...
This is when they just said, hey, here's your country, free slaves.
So Lincoln
Don't worry about the people living there.
that the best thing to do with the free men of color in the United States was to set up their own nation. So he contracts a former slave owner and a plantation owner to go to the island of Ilaveche to set up a free men of color colony where they would work as indentured servants until their debt was paid off, where they were then going to be given 40 acres and a mule.
Or so? 6 months to work off?
I think it was a 5-year contract. And then, unfortunately, he said that the island would be ready, would have houses already built, infrastructure already set up. And by houses, he meant tents. And by infrastructure, he meant just the ruts in the road from a wagon going over it a couple of times.
Yeah, sure, yep.
And so it was not a success. And Lincoln has now known
people want to come back?
That it's not a success, and said, go ahead and send a boat to get anybody who wants to come back
And the boat came back empty because they had turned it into a paradise.
Sure. We'll find out later down the line how many people come back. Also, Congress has officially approved the return of the rank of lieutenant general. This means that dude, who's ever lieutenant general, is going to be in command of all of the land forces, not the naval forces, but all the land forces of these United States of America. And rumor has it that Ulysses S. Grant, U.S. Grant.
Oh.
No, God, no. That would be a hell of a promotion for me from second lieutenant.
From lieutenant to lieutenant.
Well, there's a lot of
No, there's no gap.
In between. Yeah, rumor has it that U.S. Grant is going to be given that nod.
That well deserved, I think.
Well deserved. He does get it. Yeah. On the second, Pickett, famous from his Pickett's Charge, is going to move towards New Bern, and he's going to have some of his troops capture the USS Underwriter gunboat. Unfortunately for him, the U.S. is right there with reinforcements, and they go, shit, burn it, sink it, run away, which is what they do. They burn it, they sink it, they run away. So
good job.
The Confederate Navy still has no boats.
Nothing.
Pretty much to speak of.
A couple rowboats, they're doing all right.
They're doing okay. On February 3rd, Sherman is going to take 26,000 men, 7,600 cav, on the Mississippi Campaign of Destruction. His orders here are to destroy all Confederate-held railroads in the state of Mississippi.
Oh, damn.
Also, on the 3rd, Trader President Davis is going to write to Confederate Congress saying that all the disloyalty, dissatisfaction, disaffection, discontentment in his country are coming from people who have enjoyed a quiet life of safety in their own home. He's wrong, because the vast majority of that discontent are, starving friggin' farmers who are like, we're sick of paying taxes.
Starving safely in their own home.
Massive amounts... And massive amounts of soldiers who said, I've had enough of this shit, I'm going home. So
they went where? To their comfortable homes?
Safety of their home, yeah.
Lieutenant Tommy?
Fine.
Sounds pretty safe and warm there.
So he asked Congress to suspend the habeas corpus as a sharp remedy. We'll teach them by arresting them without due process of law.
Just arresting
anybody who
says anything
seems like they might be slightly discontented.
Or who might be just quietly living in the safety of their own home.
If they're discontented.
Or maybe like, hey, I've had like 3 cousins die in this war, and then like my uncle too, and I'm kind of sick of it. Maybe we should stop.
Yep. Straight to jail. Straight to jail.
Perfect.
Yep. Straight to jail. Yep.
That's how you do it, is taking a page out of old Lincoln's book.
Yep. Straight to jail. And Johnny, this week is going to come to an end with Confederate Congress banning the import of any luxury items, the circulation of any U.S. currency, and if any cotton, tobacco, naval stores, sugar, molasses, or rice is going to leave Confederate ports, which is a joke because there's a blockade, there's not a lot getting out of Confederate ports, but if they are to leave Confederate ports, the Confederate government gets half. That is a hell of a tax.
Half?
Half of all cotton, tobacco, naval stores, sugar, molasses, or rice. Yeah.
That's a whole lot. Well, I mean, you wanted your own country. How
Johnny,
do you like it?
I got 2 guns.
Not anymore.
One gun. Half.
One of those. Yeah.
Half gone.
Yeah. You got 2 kids? Not anymore.
Half. You get half. One's going into war. And if the other one objects about it, straight to jail.
Yep. Yeah. Enjoy your freedom, Confederacy. We should just pull out. Let them come crawling back to us.
That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We do all kinds of fun things. We've got some shorts going on. I make fun of guns. Apparently, if you make fun of trench shotguns, people get real mad at you about that one. And we talk about, wars over eggs, of all things.